Hey guys, Dr. Brown here, and tonight we're working a problem. I always say they're all cool problems, but this one is pretty awesome. It actually came out of a 5th grade book from a school here. It's one of the international challenge problems. So no matter what your educational level, listen to the problem and see if you can work it, because it's a thought provoker for sure. Okay, you probably saw on the cover slide for this video a description of the problem. It talks about Farm X. They have the sheep and cows, or cows and sheep on their farm, in the ratio of 2 to 1. So 2 cows for every 1 sheep. Okay, Farm Y has cows to sheep in a ratio of 3 to 1. But they have twice as many total animals as Farm X. So then they ask the question, if 56 sheep are transferred from Farm Y to Farm X, and they end up in the ratio of 7 sheep to 8 sheep, 7 to 8, how many cows are on Farm Y? Okay, that's, to me, it was a really interesting problem. So, having said that, let's think about the cows on X as C sub X. Cows, but we have half as many sheep as we have cows. So my total then could be C sub X, the cows on X divided by 2. Okay, now if I get a common denominator here, I'll multiply this cows on X by 2 over 2, so I've multiplied it by 1. Everything's over 2 now, so I have 2 cows on X plus cows on X over 2. So 2 cows on X plus 1 cow on X gives me what? 3 cows on X. 3 cows on X over 2. That's the total animals on Farm X. So let's challenge that to see if we're correct. What if we have 4 cows? Okay, if I have 4 cows, I should have half as many sheep, so I would have 2. So that would give me a total of 6 animals. So let's think about if this formula gives me that. 3 times the cows on X, 3 times 4 divided by 2 is 12 over 2, which is 6. Well, that one works. What if this were 8? I have 8 cows, which means I have 4 sheep. So now 3 times 8 is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 8 plus 4, 12. Okay, so it seems as though our 3 cows on X divided by 2 represents the total animals that are on Farm X. Now, in the formula, or in the problem statement, it said the total on Y was twice the number on X. So our total here would be 2 times 3 cows on X over 2. So twice as many as I have in total on Farm X. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times 3C sub X is 3C sub X, okay? So 3 times the number of cows on Farm X is how many total animals I have on Farm Y. Now, the cows and sheeps are in a ratio of 3 to 1, so there's 4 parts, right? 3 of those parts are cows, 1 part is sheep. So if I were to take my total and divide it by 4, that'd give me 1 part. So the number of sheep, I'm going to divide this up here, would be 3c sub x divided by 4. And then the number of cows on y would be 3 times that one. If that's the number of sheep, so I have 3 times as many cows on y, farm y, as I have sheep. So 3 times 3 cows sub x over 4. So 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 times the cows on x divided by 4 is the number of cows on y. 3 times cows on x divided by 4 is the number of sheep on y. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But now it's about to get exciting. So in the problem statement, they said we're going to take 56 of the sheep from this farm and add them to that farm. Okay, so what does that mean? If I think about the sheep, 3c sub x over 4 minus 56, taking 56 sheep and putting them here, that divided by the sheep on x, which is the cows on x, divided by 2, that's the number of sheep, plus 56, that equals a ratio of 7 over 8. That's what it gives us in the problem statement. Now, out of all of this, you'll notice we only have one variable, and that's the cows on x. Of course, the question is asking, what are the cows on y? But if I can solve for how many cows they had on x, I can now plug that in here and get the cows on y. Matter of fact, I'll add a subscript here. All right, we have some denominators we need to work on. So I need to multiply this by 4 over 4. I need to multiply this by 2 over 2. So I can have common denominators here. So let's see, we need to clear out some space here. Let me move over, let me rewrite this. 3 times the cows on x minus 54 times 4. This is all over 4, by the way. 54 times 4, 16. 1, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 216. Sorry, 56 times 4, my bad. 6 times 4 is 24. We're multiplying here. 56, 24, 2, 20, 21, 22. There we go. Okay, so that's minus 224 over 4 divided by everything over 2, c sub x, plus 56 times 2, 12, 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1, 10, 11. So plus 112 over 2. Now then, and that all equals 7 over 8. So I've got a cracked board here. So if I have a compound fraction, we invert and multiply. So we end up with 2, we're inverting and multiplying, times 3 times the cows on x minus 224, divided by 4 times c sub x plus 112. 2 over 4 is 1/2. So now I can distribute the 2. 2 times cx is 2cx. 2 times 112 is 224. And that equals the 7 over 8 that we were given. After we transferred the sheep, now that's the equation that we've ended up with. All right, so what do we got to do here? We have a ratio here. We can cross multiply these and solve for c sub x. So 3c sub x minus 224 times 8. Let me just do that. 8 times 3 is 24, c sub x. 8 times 224, we'll just leave that as 8 times 224, equals 8 times this. Now 7 times that, it equals 7 times 2, so I have 14 cows on x plus 7 times 224. All right, what do we need to do here? If we subtract, I'm going to subtract 14 cows on x from both sides. So if I take a negative 14 plus 24, gives me a positive 10 cows on x minus, let's go ahead, 224 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 3, 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19. 1, 8, 16, 17. 1792. 8 times 4 is 32, 16, 17, 18, 19. 8 times 2, 16, 17. All right, 1792. And that equals, we've already subtracted the 14x. That equals 7 times 224. 7 times 4 is 28. 2, 14, 15, 16. 14, 1 is 15. All right, so that equals 1568. Now I need to add 1792 to both sides. Eight and 2 is 0. That's 10. 10, 16. 1, 6. 8 and 6, 14. That's 8, sorry. 7 and 5 is 12 and 1 is 13. My bad. This is why we practice, by the way. All right. And 1 plus 1 with the carry is 336. 3,360. And if we take 1792, a negative and a positive, add those together, that cancels. So I have 10 cows on x equals 3360. Divide both sides by 10. That equals 336 cows on x. Wow, 336 cows on x. All right, I'm going to clear out a spot here. So cows on x is 336. Now the question was, what's the cows on y? So it's 9 times 336 divided by 4. 9 times cows on x divided by 4. So 336 divided by 4, I'll just do that first. 8 times 4 is 32. Gives me 16, that's 84. Okay, so I have 84. Now I have 9 times 84. 9 times 4 is 36, 72. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 3 is 75. I have 756. That's the cows on y equals 756. Now then, let me erase a few more things and let's check ourselves. Probably a good thing to do after all the calculations here. All right, let me get rid of here. So we've got cows on x, we said was 336. Cows on y, we said were 756. So let me erase a few items here. Okay, so we've answered our question that they asked us. Now we just need to check ourselves to make certain that's correct. So how do we do that? Well, we know if I have 336 cows on X, I have half as many sheep, right? So if I divide that by 2, so 6 times 2 is 12, leaves me 1, bring down to 6. That's 168. 8 times 2 is 16. All right, so I have 168 sheep on Y, or on X. That's the sheep on X. 168. So now the total animals I have on X would be the cows plus the sheep, right? So now I have 336 plus 168. That's 14. Carry the 1 is 10. Carry the 1, 4, 5. I have 504 total animals. So total on X is 504. The sheep on Y and the total on Y. Now the total, remember, that's 504, not 5,004. So the total on farm Y was twice the animals as on farm X. So if I have 504 on farm X, 2 times that gives me 1,008. Okay. Now then, so I have 1,008 total animals on Y. So if I have 1,008, I have those 4 parts again, right? 3 of them are cows, 1 of them is sheep, so it's 4 parts. So if I divide that by 4, it'll give me what 1 part is, and 1 part is sheep. So 4 times 2 is 8, gives me 20, and that gives me 5 times 4 is 20. Bring down to 8, 252 sheep. That's how many sheep that I have. Now then, remember we had 3 times that were, I've lost that formula. If the total is this, oh wait, I didn't do that. Yeah, I did. So the cows on X was 9 times the cows, the cows on Y was 9 times the cows on X divided by 4. But in our case, we now know that 252 of these were sheep. 3 times the number of sheep is the number of cows. So 252, so to stay away from the formula and just use this, 3 times the number of sheep is the number of cows on Y. This was the sheep's on Y. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 756, which is exactly what we should have had. So the cows on Y is in fact 256, and we've confirmed that. Cool little problem, I thought. So hopefully you enjoyed it. And why are we doing this? Together we're trying to build a better tomorrow and do that through math. So keep studying. That's all for this time, and we'll talk to you again. Thanks. Bye.